Girl Call Me with Tanya and Jessica is all about community.
Because listen, in a world that's getting wilder by the day, one thing we know for sure, we can't do this alone.
And as always, we're keeping it raw, keeping it funny, and keeping it real. Because if we can't be honest here, then girl, call me later.
So grab your tea, get comfy, and get ready for a season full of laughs, love, and the kind of conversations you need in your life.
It's season 3, and we're just getting started.
Okay. Hello. Something's been on my spirit and I want to share it. I didn't even
You
tell
have something on your spirit?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Let me tell
remembering.
you.
Let's
Okay.
remember.
Here's what it is. If you're listening to this podcast, and this goes for all of the people who we know are listening to this podcast, because you always text us and tell us how good the show was or what you listened or what you thought. I hope you're texting 10 other people that before you're texting it to us, because we want you, for every episode you listen to, we want you to share it with your friends, because if you love it, I'm sure your friends will love it too. So we're asking you, if you're a faithful listener, we're asking you to do one of 3 things today. Either like us on a platform, or share us with friends and tell them how great they are, or write us a review, or have ChatGPT write it if you really want to. Either way, just post it. Write it.
Jessica will draft it on chat and
so 3 things we're asking our faithfuls to do. But in all seriousness, welcome to our new listeners, because we got a lot of feedback on our Martha's Vineyard episode. That's why we're booking a trip, because we got so much positive feedback.
There's a new thing. So first of all, welcome. I'm glad that it's been on Jessica's spirit. So like, subscribe, review, share, chat us up, whatever you want to do. But we are truly grateful for all of our listeners. And we had a really fun time with India Rose, and loved having that conversation about MV, because then it was inspired. Then Ralph Lauren was inspired. And then the chats were out there. There was a lot of exciting chats and conversations. But I've been doing this like little motion, which, the Stub Budz. The Stub Budz. I don't know if everyone who's out there knows who the Stub Budz are.
I don't think many of our listeners do. I feel like, it's a hole that I went down with someone in your household, but it wasn't you.
It wasn't me. And then we had people over, and we had to watch the Stub Budz and streaming. But they do this little clap thing with their
let's say who the Stub Budz are first. The Stub Budz are 2 WNBA players who have a Twitch stream, and their names are Courtney Williams and Natisha Heideman. And they play for the Minnesota Lynx, and they have a Twitch stream that they go live. And they went on a 72-hour live stream for the WNBA All-Star game. And it was behind the scenes. It was at all the parties. It was courtside at the game. And shout out to Shine Studs Shine is our segment this year, because what they did was, they really did. I think there's so much hate on the WNBA for a bunch of people that don't watch or don't know much about the league, and always talk about the women fighting just because they show aggression on the court. And right, God forbid they're competitive. And the Stub Budz were amazing, because they got this kind of backstage, unfiltered access to all the women, and you just saw what a supportive league and sisterhood the WNBA is. So Shine Studs Shine is our segment this week.
Shine Studs Shine. Thank you for the LGBTQI community, who will appreciate that that shout out. Hey, girl,
yes.
Don't call me, but what is it?
No, they go like this, but it's this
little thing.
So it's not your whole hand. It's not your whole hand. It's just the
Jessica's teaching me the little clap.
Your thumb and your in your pointer finger, just a doo-doo. It's like the old snaps back in the day. Yeah, it's just
2 snaps in a circle back in
living color.
Really, right, back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica, we started chatting a little bit about it the last episode. But you've had a few near-death experiences
You're
that
so dramatic. Don't say that because then I'm gonna get calls from people being like, "Oh
I
my
know,
God, you
right?
don't
Yeah,
tell me enough."
right. There,
Yeah,
you had a few things that's happened in your life that made you
yeah, yeah,
go, "What is going on?"
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been walking through life being more open and aware and present. And with that means some wild things that I have had to be very present for. So yes, we talked last week about me getting hit by the 2x4 on the freeway.
That was rough.
Also had a flat tire like 3 days later. That happened. We're not gonna I'm not gonna go into the diagnosis of those two things in a follow-up circumstance and what they all had in common. But anywho, yes, been open, been seeing things. And I think for me, and we'll talk about this a little more when we get into it, but it's been a real I'm very how should I say this? As someone who struggles with anxiety,
Hmm.
it has been a very pleasant experience for me to have things happen in my life and me not catastrophize them and
Mm.
create a novel about the demise of Jessica that I'm that I feel like is being written. Okay?
Yes, I'm giving a little clap for you because
Thank
that's
you.
actually progress for
Thank
growth. And it's great because I think that too many times, sometimes we see signs and we're like, is that a sign? And then sometimes we just think it's a sign. And as you said, catastrophize and make a sign that's not a sign.
right.
You're walking down the street, a bird poops on your head. Oh my God, what does that mean? It
Right.
really sometimes doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But I would start doing some Google, figure out what does it mean, what kind of luck. And I really
Right.
appreciate you saying that sometimes you can pay attention and really sit in it and not assume that
Yeah.
something is that maybe it's not.
And you can always choose positive. That's the
You
other
can
part of this.
always choose
You can
now
and
I
it
never,
and it's see
but
exactly, because it's so easy to be like, "Oh my gosh, if I'm choosing positive, this is so, you know, this is so ridiculous and like Pollyanna of me." But we don't say that same thing about ourselves when we go down the rabbit hole of catastrophe. We don't say you're being so dramatic. So it's always an option to choose positive.
right. And sometimes, similar to what we've done, sometimes you got to go, girl, call me or
Right.
call a girl, call your friend and say, is this the universe or is this like, like we say,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to call a friend or
And
call a
some
chat.
and sometimes yeah, sometimes it can't be Tanya because
What?
every
Like I
time
said, no, I said you were blessed.
girl,
When was the first, when you said
you
you were hit
did
by the
s
two by
you did
four,
s you
what
did
did I
say
say?
that. After you said, "Girl, I'm afraid to travel with you. I'm afraid to drive with you. Keep me away from you, but you're blessed."
And highly favored too, I said.
S
Because
Right,
you survived. That
right,
was the
sure.
most important thing.
Right,
You
right,
made it
right,
through.
right.
But there's also been a lot in the news. I mean, I think that I don't know about anybody else, but the
Yeah,
signs
speaking
are
of
telling me not to get on
summer
a plane.
travel, yeah, summer travel, woo, child.
I mean, are the signs telling anyone else not to get on a plane? Because between runway fires, people getting stuck in random places on an island overnight, just everything. I mean, what did it happen? Yes, I think a couple of days ago, someone got arrested. The co-pilot got arrested from, was it ICE? I'm not sure. All I know is it's wild out here in these friendly skies. I'm not sure it's so friendly. I'm not feeling the love or the friends. But I don't know about you. Are you scared because you stay on a plane, sis? You stay on a plane.
Oh my god, I had to started laughing. Yeah, well, I just wanna pause here and just say, for everyone who remembers, I think it was last summer, Tanya did this whole thing about how if the plane went down,
You
she's
can't.
always prepared. She doesn't drink because she's
Nope.
prepared
Right.
to get everybody out. She's prepared to be
I'm
called on.
here. I'm here for
Mean
you.
Meanwhile, when the video showed up of the people jumping out the slide on the American, flight that's on fire, Tanya's like, "Why are they going down the slide? Isn't there another way to get out?" I'm like, "Have
Right.
you
Help me.
never
Help
paid
me.
attention to the beginning of the thing where they
It's probably
explain
no.
a slide is gonna come out?" I'm like, "What did you think was gonna happen? You jump from" so if you were waiting for Tanya to save you, Tanya, have a drink, girl.
But you know
Have
what
a
they
drink on
say?
a plane.
You know what they say? Put your mask on first. Put your mask on
What
first.
would that do? You would just be with a mask on, walking through the aisles, blocking everybody, going, "When are the stairs coming? Are they gonna be
When
bringing
are
the stairs or the ramp? Better yet, the ramp."
and it would only happen if you're in first class. So it goes back to our original
Well, first
point.
class had their own slide, you saw that. They had their
I
own little slide in the
I
front, but
saw
you
that,
still had
Jessica.
a slide.
I
You s
saw that. So we've had American Airlines. I probably shouldn't say it, but
Yeah,
we've
girl,
had we
don't be putting the
we've
names out there. Let's
we've
not get a
had
cease and
we've had
desist.
runway fires and slides. We've had smoke at Burbank Airport and on the way to the most important event of the year.
Cowboy Carter finale tour. You know that plane was filled with bees, with beehive, and
Filled.
they beehive was like all they probably had their boots on, and then they had a 450-foot drop or something. It said.
Right. And then was it yesterday? There was a flight out of London to New York. I'm sorry, it was shitty. And I mean that literally. The bag was covered in feces, I believe. So if you're gonna
Wait,
go, if
a bag from the overhead, or when it came out on like the conveyor
when
belt?
it came out on the conveyor belt, all of the bags
Oh my
smelled,
god,
and all of them were
that's
covered in a brown
that's a
thing.
if that's a sign, that is not a sign you could add the positive to.
That is not a sign. If your bag, if you're coming from your fabulous trip from London or headed from London and you are on one of the top airlines, I won't
Well,
say which airline,
the
but it
worst
was
part is it's your shit. I mean, we're all clear on that. Like, you shit on your own bags. So if you were that person on the flight who was like, "I need to go to the bathroom," like, that's you look around to your fellow passengers, it's y'all's
why
shit.
does that make it better? Why
It's
does that
not,
make
but
it
it's
better that
not.
it's
I'm
on my
just no, it's not making it better. I'm just saying, yeah.
all I'm saying is yes, the
That's
airline claims
that would have
that's
been
not.
great if that was the publicist line. Where, like, when they were like, "It's y'all's shit."
I'm not sure that's the line that they're gonna use.
Y'all
They
shit.
did say it wasn't what they thought. It was not feces. They said it was liquid matter from one of the hoses
Yeah, the hose going from the toilet.
that smelled like.
Feces.
So it's been a lot. There's been a lot happening. I know that we're in the middle of summer travel. I
Needless to
know
say, we're getting on a plane. I was on a
that
plane this
Martha's
week.
Vineyard.
I was on a plane this weekend. We're gonna be just fine, as long as we don't get on those cruise ships. Because I watched the speaking of God, we don't usually have such potty talk on this show, but what is that
It
documentary
really
called
was.
that
It's
I watched?
called. I don't want to say what it
Crappy
is.
Boat or something? Like,
Right, but it was saying that it was part of the wreck. What is it called? What is
oh yeah,
a
train wreck.
train wreck? It's like a whole series of different train wrecks, and then there was one in which people were having to relieve themselves in little red bags. It was a rough cruise.
God, how terrible. And how terrible they said when they kept seeing other boats come up next, and they thought they were
Right,
gonna be, like, rescued.
waving. They were taking pictures of them.
Someone just fell off a Carnival cruise this weekend. She was twerking off the side of the infinity pool and
Okay,
hit the
so
hit the other the deck.
all of this to say that travel's tough right now, and it has been tough now, and it has been in the past. So if you're traveling, I think our note to you is stay safe, stay right, and stay safe.
Our
Because
note to you, or
stay right with
write us your story afterwards.
Write us your story. If you were on that flight that ended up having to go in the middle of some random island from New York for 8 hours and you
Was
had
that what it
nowhere,
was?
no food or anything, send us a note because we want to hear you. And hey, we may invite you on.
You know what? I'm disappointed in the Beehive that the flight they didn't do a little, like, Beyonce when they finally landed in Vegas. They didn't do a little Beyonce tribute. Like, we made it, and also
Girl, why would you? And you just are grateful and kissed your floor and said, let me get to Beyonce. I mean,
two hands
let
to
me get to
heaven.
that.
Two hands to heaven, girl.
Yes. And so speaking of, I know a lot of the Bayhive has really been going through it. They've
Beehive.
been okay. I'm a Bayhive because I'm older.
That
Okay.
that doesn't even
I
she's not
decided. I
she
decided.
doesn't she doesn't
Doesn't
acknowledge
acknowledge me.
your That citizenship is not a thing.
But if there's no rights, I don't have any rights
Because I'm
with that.
older. What is that? Like, you're the
Because I'm
auntie?
mature.
You're the
They're
aunt?
all, listen, let's just be clear. All of them women who attended that concert were aunties.
That's what I'm saying. So what do you mean I'm older? You weren't older than Gail and Tyler and Oprah who were there and
God.
Kris Kardashian.
And I need to know. I mean, listen, we're not going to go down this rabbit hole because we really want to talk about our topic, but I need to know one thing. So Gail went to space. Then she was on Broadway in a show last week. Now she is dancing in a circle with Kris Jenner.
If you didn't
What
believe in the
is
simulation,
happening?
if you
What is
didn't
going
believe in the
on?
simulation yet, you should start now because this is main character energy if I've ever seen. Like what is happening? She
What
turned
is
seven. This is
I
her
need to know.
70th birthday this year. She's
Is she
hitting the
just
high
living?
notes.
So is she just living? She's like, I'm gonna do. She's like one of those that had a goal, a list of goals. She's like, I'm
Right.
gonna do space. I'm gonna go on Broadway. I'm
Right.
gonna. God
Right.
knows what else she's doing. But
Look.
the hanging out with Kris Jenner,
Oh yeah, they were remember they also went to Basil's wedding. Don't forget that.
they went to
She was
Basil's
on
wedding and then were on a yacht afterwards in France.
she's living her best life, girl.
So maybe I should stop hating.
Maybe. I've been telling you that, not just about Gail, just generally.
Who am I hating on? I'm not hating on anybody.
No,
I just think I
you're
don't know.
right. You're right.
Black excellence. I support Black excellence, but I'm not sure I support Black excellence with Kris Jenner.
Yeah,
It's questionable.
it's a lot. That's a
It's
lot.
a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
It's
So,
definitely put a lot of Black people on the map, but I just don't know if it's the right map.
who's put black people on the map? Are we talking about Tyler Perry?
No, I said Kris Jenner's put Black people on the map. I just don't know if it's on the map in the right way. Every Black person her daughters date. Travis Scott, Kanye West, Lamar Odom.
You know, we're just gonna move
All
on.
tragedies.
Let's. So, Jessica, we've all, listen. I feel as though we are in our blessed era. I am tucking in, centering myself. And part of that always, I think a few episodes ago, we talked about kindred spirits and Shauna and how I took you for your first reading. And we did another reading recently. And we're going to talk about a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about signs, intuition, and making sure we're not overlooking sometimes things. You don't want things to slap you over the head. That we say. My grandma said, "Don't let anything slap you over the head. You got to listen to the signs and pay attention to things that are around you."
That's what caused hypervigilance. Keep going. That one statement, by the way, you could trace that all the way back. Tanya said, "Got it, Granny. Ain't nothing gonna catch me off guard ever."
Okay, first of all, I don't know if that's hypervigilance. I think that's paying attention.
And being hypervigilant about it. Yeah, it's actually
Okay, I think that's how we need to break it up. We need to say, is paying attention to signs always hypervigilant?
Oh,
Or is I don't think so.
Tanya, I didn't say it was. I'm talking about you. That was it. This was not a grand statement on signs
Okay.
and hypervigilance.
We went from Kris Jenner to you coming from my neck. I see where we're going with this episode.
Projection. Keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So yes, we are talking about the signs that each of us see. And everybody is different with what they think as signs and how they feel things, and if
Right.
they feel things, if you see things, if you see patterns, if you notice, feel like you're having deja vu. Like there's lots of different ways and
Okay.
things that people call quote unquote signs, right?
Or energy. I feel like
Right.
I can walk in a room and almost read the energy of the room immediately. I feel like
Right.
I can have a full conversation with someone and know exactly where they are
Yeah.
in their feelings. And there's many times I've called and follow up with someone going, "Are you okay?" And they'll be like, "How did she know?" And maybe that is hypervigilance. or it's really me continually. I do tap into that. Tap in to feeling the energy of people, and I do sometimes tap into how I feel. I don't always tap into myself as much as I tap into others.
Mm, yeah. Mine, I feel like it shows signs for me are often forward thinking type of things. So, and it's hard to explain, but it could be deja vu. It could be I'm doing something and then I have a quick flash of you're going to need to know this. This is going to come back to you. You're going to need to remember this, something like that. That happens to me quite a bit, very often. Actually, that was similar to what happened with my situation with my windshield is I had to go to this shop. I JCL had to get something fixed on his windshield. I was annoyed that I was there, but there was this weird thing I had of like, huh, there's something about this place. And then I was back there a week and a half later. So that it's
Interesting.
usually like a little gut, like a little itchy
Yeah.
gut feeling, and then it's a half a second for me.
It's interesting. We've joked a little bit about my signs, but how do you know the difference between signs, intuition, and overthinking?
Usually I don't overthink instinct. That's how I
Yeah.
can. Usually I'm able to stop myself, and if I'm overthinking something, I already know that it's not a thing. If I've
Yeah.
got myself in a loop about it, I wouldn't be. But that I also think that that's like why I was mentioned presence earlier is I sometimes can be running so fast that
Hmm.
it's easy for me to shoot past the instinct and go with the thing that'll keep me going because it's not
Yeah.
allowing me to slow down. Whereas usually those instinct things are asking me to slow. And
Yeah.
the other stuff is like just fuel to allow me to keep spinning on something.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't even know. Like it's similar to what you just said. And sometimes I'll just like, something's not right. And you're like, I'll be, on occasion, it'll keep me up trying to think about it. But on occasion, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to figure it out. It's going to reveal itself. And sometimes we have to trust time. And we don't always have to know the answer to the question of what we see or what we feel. Sometimes we just got to give it some time. And that to me is the best recipe.
What's an example of something like that? What's a time when you just knew something either wasn't right or something was meant for you and it was that. It wasn't an overthink, it was a gut instinct.
There's been several instances. I mean, I think there's been relationships and friendships that I'm just like, you ain't from me. I've met someone, or I'm like, okay, you're cool, but I'm not trusting you.
Mm,
And that's that gut in me that I'm like, I don't know why I don't trust you, but I know that you are not one I can trust. And usually comes out in the end that I'm right. To all those out there who have warned you about people, girl, you called me. But just telling you. The other thing is there's been several actually jobs in which I've gone to the interview and I've just been like, this ain't for me. This is not the role for me. And I pulled out. And sometimes even if you've continued something and you didn't get that role, I remember several times in which I've always like if you wanted a job in your mind and then you don't get it, and then I'm like, you know what? I didn't need to get it. That was not for me. And in the end, something will happen and I'll see whether a friend will tell me if they work there or so forth. So I think sometimes you just got to, particularly when it comes to social interactions, that is the most thing that I will get guts about when it comes to people.
yeah. Really feeling like you understand people and being open like that forces you to be really open because when you're around a lot of people, when you're managing other people's energy, you're trying to pick up what they're talking about, you're trying to see how it's making you feel, you're trying to and sometimes like when you are your most present and open yourself all the way up, it is hard to keep yourself from spiraling. I think for me that's a situation where I've really had to fine tune my intuition because for a long time I've known, this this person say gives me anxiety. And I have just followed that right away instead of pulling back and really going, okay, hold on, this is happening. Let me not absorb this. Let me just witness it. So I think I have felt that a lot, but often I'm a recovering people pleaser, would take on
How's that therapy going? How's that recovering?
It's going very well, actually, but because I would take on someone else's anxiety. So I'm like, "Oh, I
Right.
feel that in them. Now I'm super anxious." And it's like, "Why am I anxious? I was fine." And so anyway, I think when you're working through that of being a really emotional person and what does that mean and how do you it's a really hard thing to not take that all on and manage yourself from spiraling.
Yeah.
So,
I was one of the things that like I know not everyone believes getting readings or believes in, these tarots and so forth. But I do think in some ways tapping into spirituality, regardless of how that is, I think is important. One of the things that Shauna recommended I do is get a like a paper calendar because I tend to like only rely on digital forms of almost everything. And it was really interesting. I actually listened this time. I don't always listen. I'll just confess. I don't always listen to advice that people give me. But this time I got this paper calendar and it was kind of
di
nice.
digitally, you bought it digitally.
I
You
did buy
probably
it.
should have went in and bought it
Where
tactically.
do where does one get one? Where would I have gone to get one of those things? You can't
Oh
go to
my
Macy's, Nordstrom's, or
Macy's, girl, are you
where does one get?
like
I
a
can't Target.
stationery store?
I can't go to
Papyrus,
Target.
Paper
Where was
Source,
I don't know
any
where the
s any
papyrus is.
stationer any stationery store. Y
That's true.
Home Goods has a ton of calendars.
Oh, I coulda went to Home Goods because normally my go-to would have been Target. I would have been like, "Let me head to Target," but,
They don't even have a good selection normally, girl.
they
Well,
don't?
I'm a journal and a calendar shopper, so
I know. You had a really beautiful one from a
I
sis.
do.
I'm gonna still get that at some point when she comes back into business. I think she's
Yeah,
off for the summer. But I really appreciated getting this calendar. I started putting like little stickers. It came with stickers, which is kind of a weird. I was like, okay, I'm a little grown, but I start writing things. I started writing my intentions for the month of, August. I started looking at July and kind of taking notes on what I've accomplished. It was probably a nice exercise in connecting, and I probably wouldn't have done it unless Shauna suggested it. I'm having a deja vu right now, though, by the way.
That may
We've
not
had
be a
this.
deja vu. That may not be a deja vu. Pause for dramatic spirit to enter and exit the
Where
chat.
did I go? Why is that?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
not see the wheel of
That
death?
was
Did
the
you not?
spirit, girl. No, that was the spirit. You just
Girl,
said,
that was wild. What was that?
I don't know.
Okay, we may have to. I don't know if we're
You may have
keeping to
called s
30,
you may have
30,
called
58.
something in. You may have called something in, girl.
Girl,
I'm just
okay.
saying.
Listen,
So
okay.
on to that. How do you protect your peace while staying open? I think you said something though. I do think and you said you were talking about journaling, calendaring. I think
Yeah.
that helps a ton. I have been big on mantras lately.
Hmm.
Big, big, big on mantras and
Tell me
rituals.
what's your latest mantra?
And my peace is mine. I just got it tattooed on
Oh,
me.
okay.
Yeah, my peace is mine is something that
My peace is mine.
I have been holding, really holding, and I'd say probably for the past 3, 4 months, and it's
Don't
so
be surprised if you don't see my piece is mine, but yet I made some t-shirts. So
no, this is not to be commercialized. This is literally my piece, Tanya, is mine.
okay, fine. No, no t-shirts or
Mine.
hats. No t-shirts or hats.
No. Yeah, so I've just been settling on I've always been big on obviously journaling. We talked about that before, but bite size, I found that mantras have been really helpful for me in that
Hmm.
really bite size piece, like 4 or 5 words over and over again. It can help me recall because I've been using a digital journal too now. It's a lot easier for me to like Chat's been helping me with mantras. Sometimes I talk about what I'm feeling, thinking, processing, and ask it for a mantra. So that's been great. And rituals too. I'm not a super disciplined person,
Yeah,
and
me either.
so I get bored on things, or I don't, whatever. I just am not a disciplined person. And the ritual piece has been really helpful. I've started showering every night. And that was something Shauna told me about, of really,
Okay.
especially when you're someone like me who's like absorbing people and energy all day. I've been showering every night and making it more of a ritual shower, right? So like essential oils, and yeah, I'm really into the shower. What are they called? The shower, not shower
The
bombs.
shower steams, those
Yes,
steams,
shower
yeah,
steamers.
I have
Yes,
lavender, I should give you a
yes.
few because I have tons of
I
them.
have a lot. Oh, give me some next time you see me. So that has been very much an added part of my day. Water, has always been a ritual for me,
Yep.
but really being intentional. Those two things have really helped me now that I'm not afraid. Before it feels like, again, signs and intuition can also be substituted in for just like when you feel open and vulnerable and you just feel like you're seeing things for the
Yeah.
first time and paying attention. And those things are like very comfortable and like bring me comfort.
Yeah, I think if you are cleansing your spirit, you're gonna be open to more things, right? I
Mhm.
think you're
Yeah.
taking care of your energy, you're protecting your peace, it is yours. Those things allow you to be open. I am trying to listen more. I'm trying to listen to the signs of whether it's my body and a headache or it's okay to be slow. Not everything needs to be. I get up and I'm like go 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 go. I'm a constant state of stimulation
Mhm.
that really fires me up and I'm on like red alert. I think I'm working towards understanding really what some kind of semblance of peace and relaxation will be. It's hard for me. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like I have to unpack it. But I think to be relaxed and to have peace is to feel as though I'm not doing enough or I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know. There's a little bit of guilt there.
To be with your alone with yourself is not easy for everybody. And because to be alone with yourself, fixing nobody else,
Fixing no, but I
the
love to fix
only
things.
person you can fix is yourself.
Oh Lord, that's
And
too much.
exactly. That's why you're like, let me call Jessica and see what she needs. Or let me text this person and see what they want. Or let me da 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 da. But like sitting with yourself, and it's something I'm not good at, and I have very much am barely a work in progress. It's why actually we were going to talk about vacationing alone earlier today. It's why
We will at the end.
vacationing
Yeah.
alone is really hard for me because I feel like I'm wasting the day. Because I'm like, I guess I'll just go to sleep
Oh my
and it's
God.
not like rest. It's like, I guess I'll just go to sleep because like,
Ain't
uh,
nobody to talk to? I mean,
what
what
else?
do you
Kinda like now I'm much better at it, but I'm
Nah.
like, what else am I gonna
Oh my God.
do? But I don't know. Like it's like I said, I'd say this year I'm much better. Even with work travel before, I wouldn't even be able to sit in my room without like sound after a day. And now I'm like, I've I'd say of a hotel that I stayed in this year, I probably have turned a TV on, like, once to maybe
Yeah.
be like, "Is something bad happening in this city I should know about?" Like, local news, but I'm not, like,
Right.
watching shows or watch sports maybe, but yeah, sitting with yourself is hard because sometimes when like you
Yeah.
said, when you're open to stuff, you're inviting
You're inviting.
you're inviting introspection and you're inviting yeah, all the
Right.
things.
You're inviting yourself for your thoughts. You're inviting
Mhm.
yourself, right? And you're like, not everybody wants to deal with it. I will say your example of the 2x4 is such a great example of how paying attention helped
Mhm.
you stay present versus afraid.
Yeah.
Because it would have been very easy for the most normal human being to almost get into a huge accident when that happened. But if you, I mean, me, I wouldn't have been like, I would have been a wreck. It would have been bad. But you were able to stay so present that you avoided, could be an
Yeah.
accident. It could have been an accident.
Yeah. Well, I also think that is, for me, I'll just give myself a pat on the back. I think in trusting myself, which I haven't for a long time, and I don't think I even realized I hadn't. I trusted myself. I trusted other people in my hands, but I didn't trust myself in my hands.
Right.
And I think in that situation, it was like, I'm good. I'm safe. I got me.
Right. You got
Uh,
you. You got you. You know
right.
what? For our listeners, I think that maybe that's my mantra. I got me. Maybe it
You
is
should
already. It might
yeah,
already.
I
It
was
might
gonna
already
say,
be.
I think you need a little nuance to it. Something like, "I'm safe with myself" is probably better.
Safe with myself because
I
I
am
probably do
safety.
say, "I got me."
Yeah,
I
you
don't need
got you
y'all.
that. That's a clap back. That's not a mantra. That's a get out of my business. I got me. No, we need
Yeah,
to soften.
it's probably yes, I
I am
probably
safe. I can take care of I'm doing a great job
yes.
taking care of
Yes.
myself.
Yes,
Yeah,
for our listeners, I wanna hear we wanna know what your mantras are. What are
right.
you going in this crazy time? I think we all need something that's gonna center us, something that's
Yeah,
gonna cradle us and keep us safe.
yeah, yeah. And if you haven't, look, I'm throwing out all the things to people today. If you haven't tried any type of AI, it doesn't have to be chat. Just say like, you don't have to get too deep with, don't go into like, your what you're telling your therapist if you don't want to on the first round. Just say how your day was and say, and it could be as benign as you want it to be, and say, I'm trying to unwind tonight. What would be a mantra that, you think would be good for me based on what I just told you about my day? That's the easy thing.
Maybe I should try that right now,
Yeah.
probably.
Try it right now. And try again. You don't have to go into like, well, I think my trauma from my childhood was it doesn't have to be all that. It could just be like, look, I woke up late. I got out of bed. I was feeling rushed all day. I didn't eat the healthiest lunch. I felt bad because I didn't call somebody back. End. Scene. Chat. Girl, tell me about myself.
Okay, according to chat, I just did it.
Okay.
According to chat, my mantra should be rooted in purpose, moving with clarity, and open to abundance already on its way.
And you can even say to it, thanks. Make it 5 words. I mean, you don't have to say thanks. I'm very polite to my chat,
And
but
I'm not that polite. Okay. Now they tried it again. It says grounded, rooted in purpose, open to abundance, or move with clarity, receive with ease, or
that one's good.
aligned. Yeah. Move with clarity, receive with ease. And the last one is aligned, open, enough.
There you
Girl,
go.
chat knows me. I want to travel a little bit back to something that you mentioned about being a little nervous about being a solo traveler. I started watching last night Tracy Ellis Ross and her new show about being a solo traveler. It is
Mm,
really freeing, like she gives like tips on packing and why she's doing this in the
mm.
sense of she's a solo. I mean, she's a woman with no kids, no husband, and she travels alone. And it's on Roku, which if you Roku that download the app, it's pretty free. But I found it to
Pretty,
be
pretty
I
free.
think it's pretty free. I think there's a little bit you I think you have to buy you can buy it like for I don't know, a week free or something.
Okay.
But what I will say is I don't know. I think all women in their 20s and 30s should watch this show because I think it's there's a lot of it about being free, being comfortable in yourself and being comfortable and not afraid to sit at a dinner table and enjoy a meal by yourself and enjoy you.
Mm,
I thought it was a great show.
that's great.
And I should have probably watched it a long time ago because I'm one of those people that thinks they need to be surrounded by others. in order to be happy.
Oof. Anybody? Chat, do you want to give a response to that?
Okay, we're not calling chat.
So, we thank you for sharing that about the traveling, because I think what it does, you're right, it's a good example of an activity that you can do to stay really to ground yourself, right? And to be with yourself and be present and kind of open yourself up. What do you when we talked about earlier kind of staying spiritually open, how do you want to do that without getting kind of spiritually overwhelmed? What are you doing right now to be able to stay open and receive and not
Yeah.
swirl?
Yeah, I think just taking your own temperature, it's very easy to get into your own head. I'm also talking more to people. I think that I sometimes get into trouble by overthinking and thinking I'm the only. I mean, I literally have 3 conversations, although I don't have a mental illness, but I'm like, I will have a full on
Self-diagnosed. Keep going.
I'll have a full conversation and it never get out of my head. And I think it doesn't help me stay grounded. So having conversations, talking to people, sharing what I'm thinking. And I also think that my intuition is not steering me wrong. So I need to listen to myself more. And if my body is feeling something, if I'm tired, it's okay to lay down. It's okay to go for a walk. It's okay to listen to myself and how my body is feeling, and also how I feel about situations.
What's that song from Dreamgirls?
Listen
Listen to the
to the sound
sounds.
in my
Hear my
voice.
voice.
Yeah, listen to yourself. It's
Yeah, it's
okay.
true. Yeah. I feel like it's in true Jessica and Tanya fashion. I feel totally the opposite.
Oh God, not again.
I feel like I'm talking to people less, and it's making it better for me. I am very much I'm feeling this, so let me process it with someone. And in the
Oh,
past. And so I have not been doing that. And I've been writing again, quite a bit, and
right.
processing through writing.
Because
And
that
I
book is coming. Everybody's got a book in them. That's what they say.
That's what they say. I have been writing much more to myself. I've been digitally journaling. I've been now hand journaling much more. I've been writing notes to myself. Yeah, talking to people less and just allowing, because that I actually feel like that's when I get spun up. I'm more likely to go seek other opinions to spin me up. So in this case, I just sit back, and I'm less likely to spin if I process it myself. I can't
I
just
think
sit with it. I still have to process it, but
I think I'll share, I'll take in. It's almost like taking in all of the thoughts, and then I can digest it, and then I will be by myself to make that final decision. And honestly, no one ever knows what that
that's
decision. What? Are you
no, it's
scared?
just so opposite of me. No, I mean, that's just
Okay.
exactly who I am, who I've been, and that is just anxiety all over the place.
Why? Because you're worried about. See, I don't worry about
No,
disappointing
not because
people and
I'm
not
worried
making a
about.
decision.
No, it's just I don't need more input. If I already have my
Oh,
intuition, why do I need a million other people to validate me?
I
That's
don't
my
know if
thing.
I'm.
I'm not
I
saying you
like a
are. I'm
poll.
not
People
saying
say
you're
I like.
doing
I
it.
do like a poll.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm saying for me, I I need to just pay more attention. I know the answer. I don't need to go
Hmm.
say, "Oh, I wonder if I can get survey says." What is that? What does that show? Family Feud. 60 Americans say this is the thing. No, I
Yeah,
need to
I'm a
just
sir. I do take the census. I
no,
do
I don't need
take.
it. I
I
don't need
do,
it.
and I do think, and sometimes when I've made a decision, people will be like, "Well, I don't remember." I'm like, "No, I talked to you about it. Just may not be the what you just helped me decide and what you thought." So another
To
thing,
mhm.
what did I leave
Nothing.
a whole? Did I leave a bomb? What was that?
Not for me, but probably for your friends who are listening, who you're gonna get some follow-up texts from,
What are
and
they
your
gonna say? They don't.
friends and
Tanya don't
family,
listen.
I should say.
Nobody
Um
listens. I don't listen to anybody. But it's
What's
also
staying in your body feel like? Let's talk about that, because 'cause you've said that a couple times. You feel it in your body. I know for
oh,
me, recently, I have actually been able to, pull apart the physical and like what's actually happening, and calmly be able to say, oh, this situation is making me this and this is happening in my body. Is that what you mean by, have you always been able to feel it and separate it? Because this goes to our episode a little bit about the hypochondria. It's like, for
No,
me,
I
it'll
never knew.
spin. Yeah.
But and now it's like stomach. Like it's always in my like
Hmm.
I'm like, ooh, something's going on. I'll feel it in my stomach and my gut. And but then I never really know what it is until later. And I'm like, I really felt that energy in my body and I didn't know what it was.
Mm.
And then I'll be like, oh, that's why I felt this way. And it
Yeah.
takes a while. It takes processing. It takes understanding yourself. It takes learning who you are. And it also takes taking that gut check.
Yeah. Mine's a heart check. Mine's a chest and heart. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's my digestive system is always, it would be like, oh, my stomach, what's going on? Why am I
Yeah.
not feeling well?
Well, I think what's fun about this topic, and again, like Tanya said, whether signs for you is like, you know, something that you talked about with someone years ago and you feel like is coming to fruition, whether it's a spiritual reading that you had, whether it's a conversation with your pastor, whether it's a conversation with someone in your life who, you felt was, you feel has guided you in the past, whatever it is, we're just talking about kind of having those feelings where you feel spiritually driven to something. And I think that what's so fun about this conversation is you've heard Tanya and I be totally different, have totally different experiences, which is,
Yeah.
this is such a unique situation. And the only way is like that you can even understand any of this is listening to yourself and making space and time for yourself, because it's such a unique, it's just the unique gift you get out of spending time with yourself, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be off. It's okay to be like, you know what? I thought that was what I was feeling, but it's not. And I think, especially during this time of stress, strife, and craziness, I think it's more and more important for us to check in with ourselves to make sure whatever the situation you're walking into, that you feel really good about it. And like I said, like you said, there's no perfect way to process. There's no perfect way to be. There's also no perfect way. And I think, like I said, you got to try different things. And just remember, there's only one more important thing that's happening. It's Leo season. And
Is
so,
it officially? Oh yeah, I guess it is now, right? No wonder the
Mhm.
attitudes feel in full effect. I got too many Leos in my life.
Okay, we're gonna continue to celebrate Leo season in the
I'm just
vineyard.
kidding. I love them all. I love them all.
I'm sure you do, and we love ourselves. So, all your Leos are right now going, yes, we love ourselves. But I want to, next time you'll hear from us, we may be on some beach or
With
you
Michelle
know
Obama,
with
I'm putting it out
Michelle
there, manifesting it.
or President Barack Obama.
President Barack Obama or our first lady. We may have scored an interview, probably not, but maybe.
Probably not. Let's not
I'm
like, subscribe,
rate,
follow, rate.
go to ChatGPT, write an amazing
Listen.
review, share it, please. Our livelihood depends on it. Just kidding.
Not
We do this for fun.
not quite. Thank
Thank
y'all.
Hey, it's Jessica. Thanks for listening to Girl Call Me. If you have something to add or a story to share, come on over to Instagram or Facebook and join the conversation. Also, make sure you follow and subscribe Girl Call Me. You don't want to miss when we release new episodes. Thanks for listening.